First, I'd like to thank IFPRI and the government of Ethiopia to bring us together for this very important deliberation at this very critical time. The world is facing three mega trends. First, increasing population by 2 billion by 2050, burgeoning middle class by 3 billion, then rapid urbanization. So our planet needs to feed them and provide means of transportation, housing and building, water and electricity. All of those demands push the carrying capacity of the Earth ecosystem to the limit, and in fact some of the key important systems have already shown the sign that we have already exceeded their boundaries. The Prime Minister just mentioned that without really managing these demands, we will be on the collision course with nature. And that's exactly the challenge we are facing. We need to find another way to live, consume, and produce. And this challenge creates the very acute, perfect storm, particularly for sub-Saharan Africa. Almost half of the population growth will take place in this continent. 27% of people are undernourished. The crop yields are the lowest in the world, and soil quality is so poor, and the region already affected so much by the climate change. So this is the challenge ahead of this continent. What can we do? In this continent, it is quite understandable that many of the African countries are moving toward the intensification of agriculture to avoid the food insecurity. However, in order to ensure the intensification delivers food and nutrition security on the longer term, there is clear need to keep the water flows, to keep the soil healthy, and to maintain the indigenous and adaptive crop varieties and livestock breeds on which millions of smallholder farmers depend for their survival. Good news is that there have been already quite a number of successful and adaptive practices all over Africa with clear and tangible results for the people and the environment. From the West African Sahel to the Horn of Africa, smallholder farmers and grassroots communities have demonstrated innovation in management of land, water, trees, and genetic resources, agroforestry system, integration of high-value trees with food crops, rainwater harvesting practices, just name a few. However, there is a huge challenge remains ahead of us. That is how to bring those success cases to the scale. Let's face it, there is no appropriate framework yet to bring all key stakeholders together who must all be engaged to achieve food security and sustainability and resilience. Who we need to achieve the security? First and foremost, smallholder farmers must be empowered to collectively apply knowledge and technologies appropriate to the needs. Government have to provide supportive policies such as land tenure and extension services. Private sector can play a critical role with input and output market, but needs to be provided right framework. Civil society organizations needs to play an important role to build the capacity at local level. Then research institutes continue to provide knowledge to match the appropriate technology and practices to the appropriate places. Then you may be asking, what is my role? Where the GEF will be in this group? We are very pleased and excited to announce that we are launching $120 million pilot program for food security in Sub-Saharan Africa. GEF is very pleased to take this part, and through this program, where official name is a Fostering Sustainability and Resilience for Food Security in Sub-Saharan Africa, we will help create a platform where all important stakeholders work together and let them do its part towards a shared goal under the united framework of achieving long-term security and sustainability resilience of food production system. GEF funds will help countries to harness and utilize this kind of multi-stakeholder framework for scaling up innovations, and that will safeguard natural capital such as land, water, soil, trees, and genetic resources, and increase resilience in the region particularly prone to extreme weathers. And these are the kind of issues as CADIP is already promoting. And under this framework, GEF funds will support improvements in soil and water, diversification of the farming system, and to promote the integration of crops and livestock production. We will also support and help government to generate policy options and institutional framework that empower rural communities to scale up successful and adaptive practices for sustainability and resilience of their farms. Through this approach, we are seeking this kind of platform really unite all important stakeholders together so that everybody who needs to be engaged can do their own part. And by doing this kind of making this global coalition, I hope that we could contribute to enhance the food security in Sub-Saharan Africa. Thank you so much.